Hello, I'm Elden Golden. Welcome to Creativity Studies 511 Disciplinary Foundations in the MA program at Union Institute and University. Creativity Studies is a small but growing area of academic inquiry. We are particularly pleased at Union Institute and University to offer one of the few master's degree programs in the study of creativity. The purpose of this course is to provide you with a broad, inclusive, and interdisciplinary introduction to the study of creativity. You will quickly see that there are lots and lots of ideas about creativity. After this course, your study of creativity will be increasingly focused on the particular aspects that interest you. This course offers you the opportunity for a broad overview. This course is made up of 5 units, each 3 weeks long. In the first 4 units, we read a book or significant portions of a book that deal with creativity in some way. Unit 1, The Creativity Reader by Elden Golden. Unit 2, Creativity 101 by James Kaufman. Unit 3, Creativity by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. Unit 4, Creating Minds by Howard Gardner. Each of these 3-week units will follow the same pattern. In the first week, you read on your own. In the second and third weeks, we discuss the book, and then you write and turn in an essay on some aspect of that book at the end of the third week. During the second and third weeks of each of the first 4 units, there will be discussion prompts or questions posted in the discussion forum section of the website. I ask that you give a thoughtful response to at least one of these prompts each week. It would be great if you respond to more than one, and even better if you respond to each other and get a conversation going. But I only require that you post one response. The first book, The Creativity Reader, is a compilation of historical readings from antiquity through the 20th century that I put together for use in this class. Each excerpt is just a few pages, sometimes only 1 or 2 pages, from a much larger work. Most of the excerpts come from books or treatises. As one would expect, coming from works written over a span of nearly 3,000 years, they represent a wide diversity of views and ways of approaching creativity. What was important to understanding creativity in the year 100 may be very different from the way that issue of creativity is addressed in 1600 or today. Then again, you may find that some fundamental issues persist and really don't change that much at all. The second book, Creativity 101, is by James C. Kaufman, who is a prominent researcher and prolific writer on creativity. He is a psychology professor at California State University in San Bernardino. In this book, Kaufman presents not only his ideas, but also thumbnail sketches of ideas from lots of other people. It's a good summary introduction to many current ideas about creativity. The third book, Creativity, is by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. Let me pronounce that again. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. He was a Hungarian immigrant. This is an immensely important book in the development of ideas about creativity. It changed the way that researchers think about creativity, what it is, and how it functions. When the book was written in the 1990s, Csikszentmihalyi was chair of the Department of Psychology at the University of Chicago. He's now at the Claremont Graduate University in California. Unlike the Kaufman book, this book focuses solely on Csikszentmihalyi's ideas about creativity. The fourth book, Creating Lives, is by Howard Gardner, who teaches at Harvard, and consists of 7 case studies of creative individuals who lived in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The individuals studied include a scientist, a composer, a politician, a choreographer, a painter, and more. In his case studies, Gardner looks not only at the individual output of these creators, but at their childhoods, their home life, their education, their position in society, their personalities, their work ethic, and many other factors. In general, he uses the theories of Csikszentmihalyi in analyzing their creativity. The paper you will write at the end of each of these first 4 units needs to be in the 3 to 5 page range, so it's not terribly long. The topic is your choice, so long as it relates in some way to the book we read that unit. There is no need to be comprehensive. You don't need to cover everything the book talked about. In fact, you don't need to summarize at all. I've read the books too, so you don't need to summarize. In fact, it would be very difficult to do so. Instead, pick out an issue that particularly interests you. You might offer an argument in support of an idea you read. You might argue that the idea is wrong or incorrect in some way. You might compare it with a similar or different idea from someone else. You can bring in additional sources in your paper, or you can confine your discussion solely to the book at hand. Examples of topics include comparing different explanations of the creative process, whether everyone is creative or has the potential to be creative, the politics of creativity, whether groups create in the same way that individuals create, everyday creativity as opposed to extraordinary genius creativity, etc. In each week's discussion, lots of ideas for papers will come up, and we can certainly talk about potential topics if you need to. The fifth and final 3-week unit is different from the previous 4. This is where you write your semester paper. The paper needs to be 10 to 12 pages in length, and it can be an expansion of one of your earlier short papers. At the end of the first week of this unit, you'll need to submit a short prospectus which will identify your topic, maybe a thesis statement if you have one together yet, and maybe a draft bibliography, or at least some books you think you'll be looking at. That way I can offer suggestions before you actually start writing the paper. Maybe the topic needs to be refined a bit, maybe I can suggest some additional sources, or point you in a direction that might be helpful or useful. Then the paper is due at the end of the 3rd week of that unit, which will be the last week of the semester. So, welcome to Creativity Studies 511. Good luck, and we will be talking.